Use the hashtag, get involved. We want to hear from you guys as we are live into Sanok. It's from the south to the north, and it's all to be played for.
Well, regardless of who people are supporting, one thing we can guarantee, compared to the last 2 days, this is definitely a stacked lobby. Obviously, 20 teams from both Friday and Saturday have now advanced, 40 duos, 80 individual players. And I tell you what, there's some nasty, nasty little duos out there. We've seen Team Envious, we've seen two of the... forgotten the name now. The Simsy of Doom and his partner. Obviously playing for Penta, as they're the one. Ex-Penta players. Yep. There's just so many individuals. Break, TSM. And then we've got just, you know, individually good players on top of that. I mean, you look towards Wacky Jackie picking up and the top of the table, actually, yesterday to qualify into this. And as we say that, straight onto his POV and into boot camp we go.
I like it. Big locations to go to. You go to places that you might have some challenges. And Mark Zuful, thank you very much for joining the Wacky Club there. Appreciate you, buddy. Obviously, all of these players are streaming as well themselves. If you're watching on the main stream and you feel like you fancy watching how Wacky Jackie plays or how Sacriel plays or how Break plays, you can always check out their perspectives on Twitch. Nice and easy. You know their links. I don't need to tell you that. But the point is, I like teams and players going to these kind of a little bit more exciting locations where you have to take these fights. You might be pressured early, get that good loot behind you. Because we saw in those first 2 days, the opening games, people had that poor loot. They were not taking risks, and then that, it really held them back late game.
So we'll give you an overview of generally where people are and where people are going to be going. Excuse me, I did notice that was my mistake. Wacky isn't actually down at the boot camp. He's in one of the ones that are further back. People who are at boot camp, you can see we do have 3 teams. On the outskirts, we did just see one of the Chaos players as well as we move across to Sigat and his teammate. I think there's no one kind of hanging around here. We'll take a look at the map and see if we can spot anybody. But again, it becomes this problem because it's not actual squads, because there's duos. There's many more individual teams, and you would expect to see a lot more early game fights. As we look more towards the northwest, you'll see Sacriel and Break. Now, they are very split up. Sacriel's actually... If I'm not mistaken, Lauren, he's next to 2 individual players, and he is split away from Break. We might be able to bring up Sacriel or Break's POV.
Oh, you mean northeast? I was looking northwest going, where on earth is this?
It's early morning. I need coffee. I'm sorry.
Coffee's en route, don't worry.
It is, actually.
It is. Thank you, Ali. Cigarettes, however, is one of the players who did very well. Kind of one of those players who, I guess if you're from our side of the world, you don't necessarily take note as much of some of these teams and these players individually, but this guy showed some big performance, really put up some numbers, so again, you can't take it away from them. Painan always seems overly busy for what you get, right? You go there, you're like, why is there like 50 teams in front of me? There's like 4 shacks and they're all terrible, but you are all fighting over that loot. But in the northeast, it was Break and it was Sacriel. And as you said, Sacriel's a little out on his own, isolated from Break. And I walked up there earlier, I was having a little look as to where these guys were, who was warming up, and they were there. They were warming up, getting themselves prepared. Break just jumping into game after game, you know, getting that mechanically kind of warmed up feeling. Good to see. That's what you want from a player like him. If you want to purely put them into perspective, Sacriel is very much a thinking man's player as well. He'd be kind of approaching it from that perspective, and here he is. Might have heard a couple of shots here.
Just to kind of extend on what you were saying as well, Lauren, to kind of set the tone of how important, how different this day should play. We are 4 minutes into the game and not a single player has even been knocked, let alone died yet, compared to the last 2 days.
But I like this. Into the situation we're in, you saw Sacriel there a little bit underlooted, and he's called in Break to come back over, potentially either hearing some contact or maybe just feeling there might be someone around, I'm not sure, maybe a door open, something like that can give away somewhat of the game. So you have Break on the high point now. Actually, Cigarettes and Neotika could be in a bit of a situation here. Neotika's been taken down low, tagged up, don't see him healing yet, might be just waiting for cover, but they're fighting into a situation that's very tough. That could be Wacky Jackie. Actually, no, he's not in boot camp.
No,
it's one of the other players. I want to see who that is on the other side there, because that's a good tag towards Neotika very early on, and now they don't have much to play off. You're quite in an open field here, and it looks like we have that first kill coming in.
Yep, that's going to be Lucid. One of the players from there going down with the QBU. Currently still in this POV with Cigarette, just looking to what, and you kind of spoke about it and touched on a little bit earlier on. One thing PGI did give us a bit of insight to is that across the world, just because you don't necessarily know players or they're not kind of from your region or you haven't heard of them, the skill gap across the world is truly insane. There are some absolutely immense players out there, and it's events like this where we kind of get to see them in action.
Hello,
as I'm saying
PGI. I mean, sorry, Liquid. Sorry, anyone else who thought they could do well. Move on over. You had what? Genji, gold and black looking pretty good. You had OMG looking incredible. Like, don't write these people off.
Not
just
even incredible. It's world class.
Absolutely.
It was insane to see the diversity coming through. And shout out to Liquid as well. They have just won an event over in Europe. So big shout out to the boys over there. We'll get ready for the whirlwind of team changes, which will probably happen.
Ooh, we got some shots. So that AK rattling off some bullets in the back lines. That's Kodiak down. Yeah, Jonesy's having none of that. He's off. He only has the Tommy gun and a shotgun to try and avenge him. So
Level 1
probably
as
not
well.
a bad idea to back away from this. If you see that sort of contact, you see that AK shredding up your teammate, you're like, well, I've got to go. I've got business elsewhere.
It's not the greatest of setups, especially when you've got no scope or no real, I say, long-range weapon. I mean, it's fully automatic, don't get me wrong, when you look towards the Tommy gun, but still, there's no scope on it. There's really nothing. 45 ammo won't do too much. And when you've got level 1s like that and they've got distance on you, especially with an AKM, and you just hear it kicking off in the back, it's like, nope, I'm out of here. See you later, boys. They had no idea they were downhill. They just got shot from behind. 2 players then, only dead in 6 minutes.
Ultrazar just got knocked.
And flushed, and so did Simsy, back to back. So Simsy must have rushed up on him then, and he just got vectored. That's a quick trade out from the QBU to knock one, then get the vector and just defend you. That's a super quick kill.
And this is that awkward stalemate where the blue's moving, and you can see it in the top right of the screen. So one of these 2 players will have to move their way forward pretty soon. But for now, there's going to be a couple of teams kind of, I guess, running over each other at this point because you are going to start working your way towards that circle. And there was a lot of players out towards the northwest, and that wasn't particularly in the actual area. So they're going to have to start considering how to get over those bridges, that water, how do we traverse that area. It's not easy.
Simsy and Ultra going down as the first duo. That's mind-blowing. Well, we could have a bit of an engagement here. You can see Mazzarini, he's leaning around that rock. Definitely has some sort of idea where Wacky and his partner are coming out at the bottom.
That's
shacks.
Big
and he's got the knock, Lauren.
We've got to jump on that one. Let's see what Mazzarini's up to. The Kings of Sosnovka. Everyone loves.
Can you smoke me any chance?
Let's hear the comms as well. Jackie trying to call for a
He's
smoke.
Gone.
Didn't happen. Mazzarini clearly has the high ground. Good vision on this. The SLR could work well for Spreezy, but he needs to at least find the angle. It looks like he's trying to adjust around, maybe try and find a new way to approach this situation because the angle he was fighting on before simply wasn't working. So maybe going to give himself some options here, but always hard to fight uphill, especially if he's just used that smoke. I'm wondering if he has many more to fall back to, but if Mazzarini's on the prowl and he's got Spike with him, you know they're going to be confident and feeling this. They could potentially lock this one down, maybe push into it. I don't know if you're feeling that aggressive, but it's an option.
That's what the scariest thing is. You know Mazzarini's lurking, but where the
hell's far?
Where the hell's Spike? For all you know, he might have a cannon here or an M24 just lurking in the distance, and that's why Spreezy's so cautious here. Meanwhile, Godspeed and Master Nuke, the NA boys. They'll pick up a kill of their own. We haven't seen the second knock come through, so his teammate is standing by. SLR with a 4-time, so he has arranged a Spreezy, but again, you called it, Lauren, uphill battle against 2 individually amazing players representing Czech Republic. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. How's the armor looking? Okay, 2-2, so you can take a few bullets at least. I say a few if Spike does have a sniper rifle and it comes flying through, he's a dead man.
Yeah, and Wacky Jackie just relaying the information there that they have no idea where he went, where he was, where that contact was made. So Spreezy making the right call here and just kind of peeling away from the fight. It may take him further around the hill, but maybe he can crest over and go up on the western side of it potentially and find some safety. But I think that's Lucid on the run. They were one of the winners of the last game from yesterday. Decent performance, but played it very late. Very central play from them. Didn't take too many fights. But right now they're going to be forced to.
That's not good. Both players reduced to below 50% HP. One of them to about 30. The vehicle's not doing too great either. That's at about 25% HP. They've opted to go on foot. Fair play to them because a few more bullets. And that thing will be going up in a ball of smoke.
How central are they? Because this is what we saw from them, I guess, somewhat yesterday. It's very central, very risk-reward play where you kind of put yourselves as central as you can and then just work off the back of it. They have gone bang in center of the map. So that's their play style. They'll loot wherever they want, get a vehicle, and then just go straight center, hit the deck, and do not move. Now, that can work out well. We saw it getting them pretty much a victory yesterday, so I'm not going to doubt it yet, but let's have a little look across the board. Where do we have those kind of clustered points? This is one of them. 00231 was the Shroud Killer. He was the one who stopped it all. The worst name in the world, whoever you are, just a side note, but I appreciate you. He was the Shroud Slayer.
It's like Hitman, just with the number on the back of the head and the barcode.
I've never even seen him with a teammate.
No.
He's just like the Lone Ranger.
The YOLO solo. I mean, we're talking about this. There's still kills going down the kill feed. I did see the second duo drop. I believe it was First Lady. I think it was a vehicle as well because both of them died at the same time. And one of them from falling.
Oh my. Wait.
Papaya has just eliminated Sacriel and Break. My God.
Wish we could have seen that from their perspectives, either of them.
Team to die. That's
a huge fumble.
37th place in game 1.
This puts pressure on your maps like Erangel and Miramar for them. They're far more consistent for their playstyle that you could potentially see working out, but that now does really add the pressure because every one of these teams can play top 20 PUBG, right? So now the difference makers are the ones who can actually get frags while doing it. So you're going to see that break coming in at that point.
Just talk about this engagement we've seen. Both of these teams, Skipper and Pava and Cigarettes and Neotika, they've literally not moved. Probably, I think they arrived here around about maybe 4 to 5 minute mark, so they've literally both sat here, meaning that none of them will be getting any gear, they won't be getting any bullets, any meds. They kind of got to hope that either one of them makes a mistake and gets a bit overzealous and comes out so they can catch them off guard, or the circle does shift their way, because at the moment, for their economy, it's standing still, just exactly like both players are. And again, 00231, I'm intrigued to know who the hell that is, because...
I've never seen him with a teammate. I've never seen anything else. Godspeed's playing well, though, and that's one of the Envy players. That's a big name to claim.
Yeah, that's Caden down as we do move on to his POV.
You should play for yourself.
See what Venerated can do. You should play for yourself, he says. Okay, so that means leave me, my friend, and just go off on your own. QBU in hand.
No, when they were.
Good communication as well. It's only a 3 times, but it'll still give him that distance if he needs it. No, he's got absolutely no chance. Cooks a grenade. And all of a sudden, Caden is removed from the server. Standoff for now. See, I don't think he has the information where they are, Lawrence. He's not looked towards the rock face.
They should know where at least one is because of the nade coming from that direction. It has to be within a certain distance to be able to be thrown to that accuracy. But if you don't have that full information, you don't want to be sticking around because there's always that additional, like, where's that other player then? Where's, you know, if we've seen Godspeed or we've seen Master Nook, I think he might have, I don't know if he accidentally fired them, but I heard a shot go off. But regardless of that, we are going to be seeing every team trying to find their way in. It looks like most have made their way in for that kind of next circle coming through, but teams are getting very close by here.
Circle encroaches slowly, 36 seconds and moving. Again, this is kind of what you...
They're engaging on someone else.
Yeah, it's the third party. You can see the bullet tracers. That's just across the water, right? So Zenetrix is hit. The question is, does Beju and his partner push up and actually get involved in this and try and claim a scalp or two while they actually see... This is the problem. Like, if they go out, they might be able to pick it up, but they also have the risk of getting shot from the side as well. That's the problem. Cavalt onto another elusive. Oh, okay. So Pava has just knocked Cigarette. Both of them have. In fact, I don't think they're both down, but he has finally found him with a Kar-98. So that fight that was a stalemate for so long has finally opened up. Zenetrix manages to get his health back up, but he is down and waiting because, again, someone does have an eye line on him. But this is just such a night and day scenario. Night and day game. Championship Sunday, $300,000 on the line. Everything to play for.
If you're just tuning in and wondering, it's going to be 5 games today, 3 on Sanhok and then 2 between Miramar and Erangel. And this is the fight that was potentially happening, but actually it's been turned on them. Beju Live, in theory, should have had the drop on the other team. They were engaging someone else, but the turn has happened. Zentrix has a bit of vision on this. The nades coming in and they're pushing it. I like this aggression. Hades is going to have to be aware of this one because Beju Live has to get a revive off somehow, but Zentrix now, boosted up, stimmed up, healed up, going to be getting himself a little bit closer. UMP, no, excuse me, not a UMP. That's a big boy gun. You got the 5.5 there rather than the 9, so he's going to be eyeing this one up. Spots a player outside. Cool, surely going to be made there to his teammate. They can bait them in, this would be ideal. Molotov going through.
So the molly's there, which obviously spreads across the wood. I don't think he's actually inside this room, but is that a third party again? It is.
Not close by.
No,
it could be Cigarettes and
just warning
his teammate
shots.
Potentially firing off, but it looks like the helmets have been taken off these two as well. Beju Live looks like he doesn't have a helmet there, so a little bit weaker than they'd like maybe, but these guys are peeling away from this. They didn't actually push it. Maybe the timing wasn't there for them, feeling they could have got the heels off. It's not worth the risk, but that was a potential pickup of some good kills there, which is what you need for this.
I think they're going back for it, Lauren, to be honest with you. They're going to... There's probably a reason, obviously, a way that they can force this engagement by maybe letting the circle move the 2 players out of there and gatekeep them or border patrol them, so to speak. They will have to come this way because you would expect, unless they get the hard shift, and it would be very, very lucky if they did. We'll be finding out any second as that blue does touch base. The VSS doing some work, and as we predicted, the circle does not go their way. So both of these teams are going to have to move here. And as you mentioned, having no helmets and running into just 2 players lying in wait, that's going to be very, very problematic. 62 players, 34 teams for this level of circle as well. Expect to see that kill feed go off. A lot of rotational deaths will happen here. There's not going to be well, I very much doubt there'll be a lot of room inside. It's going to be a bit of a land grab. I'm interested to see the map right now. We'll see how many buildings we do actually have in place and where that circle has gone to. More than likely gone more central from the gap that we did see earlier on. 20 seconds, and all these teams, they've got to move.
They certainly do. And again, if you're... Oh, wait, Mazzarini's just gone down to Master Nook. Now, we heard from Godspeed and his teammate just earlier today in that little video they're putting up. So they're putting up numbers. They wanted to put up a big performance today to prove what they can do. But that eastern side that they are probably the furthest back team on is going to be such a gauntlet to run through. You've got one of the Envy players in front of you. You've got Papaya in front of you. You've got the Chaos guys there. You've got so many people in your way. It's a very hard route to run through. That's why playing on those outskirts is always going to be tricky. It's never going to be easy in this one. And now there's, what, 3 teams here, 4 teams there. Here comes the push. EG having to work their way forward, but they are not in a good spot either. Depends on who gets the sides first. It looks like Disciple has got the spot there, but whether or not he can confirm the kill, yet to be seen. Wolf is by his side, though, so that should help.
Shroud Killer does go down. RIP, my friend. KO416 also, he'll be dropped down. I'm seeing a Gilly Boy in play. We're on board with Evil Geniuses. Bullets in the back line, they've got all kinds of problems. He knows exactly where he is directly in front of him. He's just got to be very, very careful. He can play off the back of this rock, but the blue starts to do a fair whack of damage at this rate. His teammate has just fallen. There's no way you can get him up now. That grenade, my God.
That was sick. That's a way to shut it down real fast. No chance of recovery on that. And now still, look how many teams are alive here. 32. 54 players. This Eastern Village is going to be rammed. Look at these players coming in on that mini-map. If you can see it, that's what we're going to be looking at behind us. These guys are not in the safety zone yet. And it's that horrible game of do we go early, do we go late? And there's going to be people fighting you from the blue now.
The people inside inside the buildings, it's not necessarily going to be safe because as soon as you just poke your head out the window, so many people just see your head silhouetting just outside the gap, or they'll be breaching the back.
Here comes the fire.
Going to the blue, going to have every single rotation now is just going to... There's so many angles open. Trying to fight from the blue like this, it's just going to be murder.
See, this is what we talk about. Oh, look at Venerated right next to 2 players as well. He's right on the cusp. This could be another fight. This is what we mean. It's the problem when you play that game of like trying to avoid fights rather than taking the ones that you need to. It's very hard balance to strike. But that kill feed, Bear July has just gone down as well. He was a big player, but Venerated doesn't have one.
Level 1 helmet. Does he have a chest? Surely he's got the level 2.
So if the crouch and walk together, it makes you additionally quiet. Just worked his way in. And he's trying to limit the angles of threats. How can I try and deny any lines? He's probably heard these steps. He's got to have, but have these guys on the other side. No vest on this player. But it looks like he's peeking for it. If they auto climb out that window, oof.
Oh, they're gonna die. That's such a blind spot. All these players will be getting stimmed up and ready to move because in 10 seconds, the blue will force it and force the engagement. Kavouts, they've heard him, so they have some sort of info.
They know he's roughly there, but...
What'll... Oh, that's a random one. Okay. Dead. And bye-bye. Now, the question is, have they checked from behind them? I don't think they have. There's another squad in here. This is scary. Down he goes.
You can't go anywhere right now. There's no free steps here, and you're playing in the blue. That blue is chunky. Look at his HP, but he still gets a kill. That's big work for him. That's additional points. 4 more points go in the bag, but the heal, 3 seconds on that. He might just be able to get it off unless it doubles down, and he's just going to have to keep trying to run forward. He's got a very, very long way to go. You're seeing the kill still in the kill feed. 3 kills for him. He's racking up points, and now the bridge play coming through to make things even worse. Pimp FPS there, trying to lay fire down from the back lines, but where's that connection going to come from? He's bailed out. He's going to go for a swim, but the blue is right on his back. That might kill him.
Yeah, I think it will. The blue comes in. You'd expect both of these players to die. The rest of them can just move off, which they do now. Spike, though, it's up to him to try and make a mark over the bridge. He needs to be very careful. This is the replay, kind of what we just saw previous. We have to go back to this one. What's Spike going to do? This is such a massive hard swing.
Do they know he's there?
I don't think they do, no, because he came across late game. They'd already cleaned their 2 out.
But the damage, look at the damage this circle is doing. He's got to move forward. He can't take his time. They're engaging. Now's the time, Spike. If you need to pick up goods, get a heal off, do it now and then run the hell in. Everyone's dying to the circle. People are so scared. Venerated's gone down. We saw him earlier. And now everyone's trying to work their way forward. Neotika's still alive. Cigarette's too far away to heal maybe here. Fuffins and Ewan in the back lines trying to get the heal on. No one in the new circle either. That's slightly further to the south of this. Fuffins does get that kill in the end on Cigarettes, who couldn't be revived.
I dare say that's probably around 20+ teams that have died in one single rotation, which we kind of expected.
Yeah.
Neotika now in an uphill struggle, 1 versus 2, and he's going up against the Chaos Boys themselves. Will disengage from this one, honestly. As soon as he does, he just runs slam into another team. And this is the problem that you've got now. There are just so many people
Spike's
lurking.
alive.
My word.
And now he can try and follow the path of other players, right? This is what I talk about with Sanok, and the best way to approach it is if you see a team fighting, let them take the lead and then follow up. Good work, though, to find one. Pawn TV does go down. That's a confirmed kill, no teammate. So Spike should have a decent route in. There's no one actually on that southern side completely. It's towards the east. If he follows the hill line up, he could get an engagement. But that small bit of town, that tiny bit on the coast, has 4 teams, potentially 3 teams there. So very tricky to be in that situation. Elwaz has just been found, and he's just chilling out.
I'll get the heal off at least and be able to get fully stimmed up and go into this. The better thing is that now you're seeing all these single individuals. When you do kill one, if they don't have a teammate, like we just seen there,
Spike's gone down?
Well, that's kind of the opposing thing now, because as soon as you kill one solo like that, you eliminate a team and just jump up in a placement. Damien and THC, they're in a reasonably good spot. The only people they need to be careful of is Fuffins and Ewans, because they're uphill. Everyone else is just got stuck all the way down into the bottom area in those little houses. But now they all have to come out. The people on the top of the hill are going to be winners here, surely.
I'm not going to say anything. In theory, you'd think Spike was in a good spot, but he didn't expect people on the ridge line. But that nade now encourages the push further forward. You clear as you go, but fire comes forward. You can't take these steps for free. It looks like the revive might be coming off down towards the south. It is. So that's back up. So we have still a lot of duos here. Is everyone a duo?
4 teams, 8, 10, 20, top one. Unless...
Did you...
I'm just kind of running it through my head as, you know, yeah, it is. You're exactly right. It was that last guy that I couldn't see. I mean, it's THC and Damien. They've got the crevice of the hill. They can sit back on the defilade. All these guys have now got to come out. They've done enough damage just to kind of watch him die here. Is he going to try and smoke and run?
Fuffins, though, still have a nice side of this hill, too. They can swing up and over, potentially, but it depends on how much attention they get drawn towards them. Oh, big tag, but Ewan saved him in the kill feed. Oh, that was a 6 shot coming out from Fuffins. That's what you want to be doing in this sort of situation, but now all eyes turn towards you. You can see them instantly eyeing up that top of the hill. Where's that next shot going to come from? But THZ, they're not actually taking that fight just yet. Everyone wants their own slice of this. They don't want to be taking these little fights, but it looks like more engagement towards Fuffins and Ewan.
Forever's going to step up to the plate, but now all of a sudden everyone's got one rock to hide behind. THG looking straight down the barrel. They'll have some sort of information. They just catch the backpack running through. Which one of these two go down? Netenho does get caught, and then he picks him up a second one, smacks him in the head, and now it's into a 2 versus 2, Lauren.
No, I know the gear on the other side for Fuffins and Ewan is completely trashed. They're in the red, feeling that, to say the very least. They've had a lot of engagements to lead it here. But that circle, it makes it slightly better for... Oh, I don't know. Look at that terrain. You've got a rock and a tree. I like the split,
you know. That's what I do like. maybe if one of them, they can kind of watch either side of the rock side.
Right now, you guys in chat, who's going to win this? Team 12, Team 30? Or if you know the players, put the name in that. I want to know right now. But it looks like the proactive team is going to be Damien working his way up towards the top of the ridge. THZ towards the bottom side of the ridge. So they're going to split this one. Ewan being a little less proactive, does not have the cover to work with. Potentially Pika's advantages with this man.
Still, side by side. The circle finds one, but the onslaught's there. He's forced him back. That's really good work there, and his teammate's gone down. THC's fallen. 2 versus 1. Insta finish. The blue might do the damage. He has to be punched out and just runs into a whirlwind of bullets.
Big play.
Ewan and Fuffins, GG boys.
And look at those kills as well. They fought their way to that position. Really well done from them. Considering they were not in the most advantageous of positions either. Their gear was ruined. They had to be aggressive, assertive, and they were. And that's what you expect from a team and players of that caliber. Fuffins was hitting some blinders, and they had so many fights there. 2 engagements, 3 engagements, and they came out with that duo remaining. That's a big statement to be made in game 1.
To be able to survive for that long on that level of gear, I mean, it was a great rotation to the circle. you obviously don't know what obstacles are in your way, but to be able to take that side of the hill and then kind of understand and think to yourself, okay, there's a load of houses at the bottom. You would predict that a lot of people are down there. We need to try and force them into a trap. They have to come outside of this circle.